You have spent 50 years trying to be the good girl, the one who says yes, the one who fixes everything, the one who never complains. And where has it gotten you? Exhausted, resentful, and invisible. You think you are being kind, but you are actually just being compliant. It is time to take off the cape and stop setting yourself on fire just to keep everyone else warm. Welcome back to our safe space. Today we are going to perform surgery on a habit that is killing your spirit, people pleasing. It is the disease of our generation of women. We were raised to be polite, to be accommodating, to be the glue that holds the family and the office together. But nobody told us that if you act like glue for too long, you harden, you get stuck, and you lose your own shape. I know exactly how tired you are. I know that feeling in the pit of your stomach when your phone rings and you see the name of that friend who only calls to complain, or that family member who needs money again. Your brain screams, but your mouth opens and says, "Sure, I can help." And the moment you hang up, you hate yourself, you feel weak, you feel used, but most of all, you feel trapped in a prison of your own making. Let me introduce you to Claire. Claire is a nurse practitioner. She has spent 30 years taking care of patients, taking care of her husband, taking care of her adult children. She is the woman everyone calls in a crisis. Need a babysitter last minute? Call Claire. Need a loan for a car repair? Call Claire. Need someone to organize the church bake sale? Claire will do it. Claire came to me because she was having panic attacks in the grocery store. She was standing in the cereal aisle and she couldn't breathe. She told me, "I feel like I'm being eaten alive bit by bit, like there is nothing left of me." For me. She told me about her son, who was 28 years old and still brings his laundry to her house every Sunday. She washes it, folds it, and feeds him dinner while he complains about his boss. She hated doing it, but she was terrified that if she stopped, he would stop visiting. One Sunday, Claire had the flu. She was shaking with fever. Her son arrived with the laundry bag, and instead of saying, "Mom, go to bed," he asked, "So is dinner going to be late?" Something snapped in Claire, not anger, but a sudden terrifying clarity. She looked at this grown man and realized she wasn't helping him. She was crippling him by being the perfect mother. She was preventing him from becoming a competent man. In that moment, Claire didn't yell. She just handed the bag back to him and said, "I'm going to sleep. You need to figure this out." And she closed the door. Claire's story is a wake-up call for all of us. We think our lack of boundaries is an act of love, but often it is an act of fear. We are afraid that if we don't do things for people, they won't love us. We are afraid that our only value is in our utility. If I am not useful, do I even matter? This is the lie we need to dismantle, the belief that love is a transaction. I do this for you, so you must love me, but that is not love. That is employment, and you are working for an emotional paycheck that might never come. Real relationships can handle the word no. In fact, real relationships require the word no, because a yes means nothing. If you don't have the freedom to say no, let's talk about the workplace, because people-pleasing doesn't just happen at home. Meet Sarah, a marketing director who was consistently the last one to leave the office. She took on every project, covered for every slacker on her team, and smiled through every unreasonable deadline. She thought this made her indispensable. She thought this guaranteed her safety. But when promotions came around, Sarah was passed over for a man who did half the work but had strong boundaries. He knew how to delegate. He knew how to say, "That is not my priority right now." Sarah was devastated. She asked her boss why, and he said something that haunted her. He said, "Sarah, you are a great worker, but you are a doormat." Leaders don't ask for permission to exist. Leaders set the terms of engagement. Sarah realized with a jolt that her niceness was not being read as dedication, it was being read as weakness. She went to her car that night and she didn't cry. She got angry, and that anger was the fuel she needed to stop asking for approval and start demanding respect. So why is this so hard for us? Why does saying no feel like we are committing a crime? Because we confuse boundaries with walls. We think a boundary is a way to shut people out, to be cold, to be selfish. But a boundary is not a wall. A boundary is a gate, and you are the gatekeeper. You get to decide what comes in and what stays out. You get to decide who walks on your lawn and who has to stay on the sidewalk. When you don't have a gate, stray dogs come in and dig up your flowers. Strangers come in and leave trash, and you stand there looking at your ruined garden, asking, why did they do this to me? They did it because the gate was open. They did it because you taught them that your property had no value. I want you to audit your life right now. Think of the 3 people who drain you the most. The energy vampires, the ones who leave you feeling heavy. You know exactly who they are. Now ask yourself, what permission slip have I signed for them? Have I signed the slip that says, you can interrupt me anytime? Have I signed the slip that says, my money is your money? Have I signed the slip that says, my feelings don't matter? Tearing up those permission slips is terrifying. I won't lie to you. When you first start setting boundaries, people will not like it. They will get angry. They will call you selfish. They will say, you have changed. And you will look them in the eye and say, yes, I have changed. I have stopped abandoning myself to accommodate you. But here is the catch. Knowing you need boundaries is one thing. Knowing exactly what to say without apologizing, without over-explaining, without feeling that crushing weight of guilt, that is a skill, and it is a skill most of us were never taught. We were taught to say, I am so sorry I can't. Maybe next time I feel terrible, but we wrap our no in so much cotton candy that people don't even hear it. There is a specific formula, a language of power, that allows you to set a boundary with grace and steel. It protects your energy, but it also preserves the relationship. If the relationship is worth saving, I want to teach you this formula. I want to give you the exact scripts that Claire used with her son, that Sarah used with her boss. Scripts that you can write on a sticky note and put on your fridge until they become second nature. You are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to more exhaustion, more resentment, and a life lived for everyone else. The other path leads to freedom, to respect, and to a life that actually belongs to you. But to walk down that second path, you need the tools, you need the words. Before I hand you the scripts that will change your life, I need you to make a commitment. I need you to press that subscribe button, not for me, but for the future version of you, the version that is protected, strong and unapologetic. Click the bell notification, because in the next part, we are going to role play exactly how to say no, and I don't want you to be defenseless when the next request comes in. The formula starts with a single, non-negotiable rule, the golden pause. When someone asks you for something, your automatic reflex is to say yes. It is muscle memory. It is a survival instinct, so we have to interrupt that circuit. From now on, when a request comes in, you are not allowed to give an answer immediately. You must buy yourself time. Here is the script for the golden pause. It works for everything, from a bake sale to a loan request. You simply say, let me check my capacity and get back to you. Notice, I didn't say check my calendar. If you check your calendar, you will see a blank space and you will feel obligated to fill it. But checking your capacity, That is different. That means checking your energy, checking your spirit, checking if you actually want to do it. And if the answer is no, you do not need an excuse. You do not need a doctor's note. Now let's look at the specific scripts. For the people who push back, the ones who don't take the hint. Let's start with the guilt trippers. Maybe it is your mother or a sibling who says, "But you always do this for the family. Don't you care about us? This is a trap. They are weaponizing your history against you. Here is your shield." You say, "I care about you deeply, but I'm not available for this specific request. I hope you understand." And then you stop talking. This is the hardest part, the silence. We rush to fill the silence with apologies, but in that silence, the boundary is set. Do not break the silence. Now for the workplace, for the boss who dumps extra work on you at 5 p.m., or the colleague who wants you to fix their mistakes. You need to be professional but immovable. You say, "I can certainly help with this project," but that means Project X will have to wait until next week. Which one would you like me to prioritize? You are not saying no. You are forcing them to make a choice. You are showing them the cost of their request. Most of the time, they will back off because they don't want to deal with the trade-off. And what about the adult children? Like Claire's son, who treat you like a concierge service. This requires the most love and the most steel. You say, "I love you too much to rob you of the chance to figure this out. I have faith in your ability to handle it." This is a masterclass in reframing. You are not abandoning them. You are empowering them. You are telling them they are capable, and you are stepping back so they can prove it. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, "If I do this, they will be angry." Yes, they might be. But let me ask you a question. Who is looking out for your anger? You have been swallowing your anger for decades to keep them happy. Why is their disappointment more important than your health? Why is their convenience more important than your sanity? We need to talk about the inevitable companion of boundaries, guilt. Guilt is going to show up. It is going to bang on your door. It is going to tell you that you are a bad person, but I want you to relabel that feeling. It is not guilt. It is growing pains. When you start working out after years of being sedentary, your muscles ache. You don't say, "Oh no, I am hurting my body." You say, "I'm getting stronger." The guilt you feel when you say no is just your emotional muscles waking up. It means you are doing it right. Imagine your life as a house. For 50 years, you have left the front door wide open. Anyone could walk in, track mud on the carpet, eat your food, and sleep on your couch. And you stood in the corner smiling while they wrecked the place. Setting boundaries is simply installing a lock. It is not an act of hate towards the people outside. It is an act of love for the home you live in. You deserve to feel safe in your own life. You deserve to have energy left over for your dreams, not just for everyone else's emergencies. There is a concept I want you to carry with you. It is called the velvet rope. Think of a VIP section in a club. There is a velvet rope and a bouncer. Not everyone gets in. Only the people who respect the vibe get in. You are the bouncer of your life now, and you have let way too many people into the VIP section who were treating it like a dive bar. It is time to check IDs. It is time to escort some people out. And it is time to enjoy the party you have been throwing. Instead of just serving the drinks, I want to challenge you. For the next 24 hours, I want you to say no to one small thing. It doesn't have to be a big dramatic showdown, just one small thing. If the cashier asks for a donation you don't want to give, say no thank you. If a friend asks to pick your brain for free, say I am not available for work talk right now. Feel the discomfort and then feel the rush of freedom that comes right after it. That rush, that is the feeling of your power coming home. You are not a doormat. You are not a servant. You are woman in her prime, and you have things to do, paintings to paint, businesses to build, sunsets to watch. You cannot do big things if you are bogged down by 1,000 little obligations that don't belong to you. Take a deep breath. Feel your spine straighten. You have the scripts. You have the permission, and now you have the power. Go out there and protect your peace, because if you don't do it, nobody else will. This is your life. Claim it, own it, and enjoy the beautiful silence of a well-placed. No, if this message gave you the courage to draw a line in the sand, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. We are all in this together, building a fortress of self-respect. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Now, go set some boundaries.